playing pretty much all season long, too, in Buzzwole Lycanroc.
Yeah, the kind of classic Buzzwole Lycanroc deck that I think going into this tournament, that was probably the deck people were most prepared for.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people just said yesterday, yeah, I'm just playing Buzzrock, as it's called. I just want to, I think it's a really good deck. I think it's very powerful. It's aggressive. Players are placing out their prizes just moments away from starting this game. And on the other side, Christopher is playing something a little bit different.
Yeah, so we saw this deck a lot yesterday. It's the Buzzwole Garbodor deck that really just tries to counter most of the metagame. And we're actually looking at his prizes. 2 Guzma in there might come up a little bit long. He only plays 3, but he's playing that Buzzwole Garb deck, but he actually put in a 1/1 Banette GX to try to capitalize on his Shiner Punishments and Rainbow Energy to get some extra damage on his opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, Banette GX, a new card from the Celestial Storm expansion, letting you move, as long as it's active, you can move a damage counter anywhere, even from your Pokemon over to theirs. So the ability to just go, a lot of these Buzzwole decks have been saying, oh, I'm not going to play any GXs, I don't want to, obviously Shiner Punishment is a big part of my deck, I don't want to get damaged by it. And Christopher's saying, well, actually, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's actually his only GX in the deck. He doesn't even play Tapu Lele. This Banette really in there just for Shady Move, a good GX attack, and its actual attack does some pretty good damage against Buzzwoles.
Yeah, pretty interesting that Banette does more damage based on how many supporters are in your discard pile, so it might come up later in the game. And it looks like we are off Energy Lotto from Christopher. So what would you say, how do you think this matchup's going to go just based on the 2 decks?
So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for Christopher here. He's going to have to rely on his Garbodors and that Trash Lance attack. And just because it's a psychic attacker hitting for weakness against most of Ahmed's deck. And meanwhile, Ahmed doesn't really play early game with a lot of GX Pokemon. They kind of saves them for late game, maybe just the early Buzzwole GX, but that's pretty much it. Lycanroc's really going to be one of the big main attackers for him in this matchup, just because it's pretty hard to deal with on both of Christopher's fronts.
We see a big card in the deck, Shrine of Punishments, coming down for Christopher, going to add damage once Ahmed has some GXs on the board. But again, he may not have all that many. We see a non-GX Buzzwole hit the field and a Strong Energy before pass of the turn.
Yeah, this matchup really plays pretty similarly to each other, just where they're going to attack early game with a bunch of Buzzwoles, unless Ahmed just gets the amazing hand of like a turn 2 Lycanroc or something like that. But we actually see a disappointing Sycamore here from Ahmed, discarding a couple energy and another Sycamore as well, but it's all he really had.
Yeah, he couldn't just pass with a Rockruff, do nothing. Did have to discard a lot of resources there. He's just going to play a Buzzwole out of his hand and pass the turn.
Yeah, Enhanced Hammer, one of the cards that is not really found in this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck, but is pretty amazing in this matchup just because all of Christopher's energy are special energy.
Well, that was one of the things, again, with the format, with the structure of this tournament is that, it's very possible that Ahmed may have made changes to his deck overnight, because you can submit a totally new deck for day 2. He may have not had the Enhanced Hammers and then looked at the metagame and said, I need to put these in. That's one of the beauties of the World Championship, that just allows you to do interesting things like that and really have to not only play your deck, but also play the metagame.
Yeah, and so far, even though Ahmed's turn 1 Sycamore wasn't very good, I don't think he discarded any items, and that's really what you want to keep track of in this matchup, just because late game, that Garbodor with his Trash Lance attack just can mow down pretty much anything.
Yeah, we've seen a few times on camera this deck usually focus earlier on the Buzzwole, maybe get a knockout or 2 with that, and then late game after your opponent has played all those items, their discard pile is full, then you start hitting with the Garbodor and just doing massive amounts of damage.
All right, this is a big Cynthia here because I don't think Christopher found a way to get that Sudowoodo out of the active spot, not being able to attack for his first turn of actually being able to attack.
Yeah, it looks like the Sudowoodo is going to be stuck there as we see Nest Ball for Shuppet. So now the cat is out of the bag, as they'd say.
Yeah.
Ahmed knows he's got a Bayonet in his deck.
Yeah, the 1/1 Banette GX, but it's actually pretty good in this matchup just because half of Ahmed's attackers are weak to Psychic. And it's also resistant to fighting as well.
There's a Shrine of Punishment for passing again. Kind of a disappointing turn of events for Christopher as he cannot move that Sudowoodo. And it looks like Ahmed's going to move it now. Bringing up that Buzzwole GX with the Buzzwole with the Bloodthirsty Eyes, and then a knockout, taking out Christopher's main attacker.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't believe any items in the discard. So this Lycanroc is pretty protected right now. Really only taking damage from Shrine and Punishments.
Yeah, big Lycanroc, like you said. The turn 2 Lycanroc can be huge. Going to take another damage counter, 2 energies, including a strong on it now. Just very, very dominant here. There's a Field Blower.
Yeah, we're seeing Chris try to just empty his hand out so he can Abyssal Hand into the Banette GX. He really doesn't have much here. Gonna rely heavily off the top of his deck.
Looks like we're going to go Rescue Stretcher, shuffle 2 back in, and then draw, I believe, total 5. He has
no cards in hand. The best possible situation he can be in with Octillery. Still not playing a supporter yet either, so he does have a little bit more chances.
All right, 5 fresh cards off the Abyssal Hand. Garbodor, looks like he does have...
He actually got the Garbodor Buzzwole that he shuffled back in with the Rescue Stretcher.
Very nice. Looks like Professor Sycamore as well. So Christopher is right back into this. Still facing down that Lycanroc, of course, but
yeah,
looks like he also has a Cynthia.
Opts to play the Cynthia over the Sycamore because with a deck like this, you really rely on the heavy counts of supporters as well as your Octillery to try to keep up late game.
Yeah,
and this also the Shrine, too, because he already Field Blower to Shrine this turn.
Yeah, so I think this is actually his 3rd Shrine because he Field Blowered one last turn as well. He does play the full 4.
No. He actually did not draw into the Banette GX.
Right, unlucky turn of events for Christopher.
Yeah.
Does have a way to move the Shuppet at least.
Sudowoodo's coming back out. It's like, I'm not finished. I need to be here.
Pass of the turn, Shrine of Punishments happens between turns, of course. The 3rd energy on that Lycanroc.
And yeah, this is where I was talking about before. A quick Lycanroc could just steal the game here. It's pretty hard for him to handle, especially if the Shuppet gets knocked out.
Looks like Ahmed's going to miss a Max Elixir there, which Chris has to be happy about, but still cannot be happy overall with his position here. Just not a lot going on. He's facing down a Lycanroc, fully built up. GX attack has been used, but still does a lot of damage, especially when you consider that strong energy on it. And currently can just kind of mow through Christopher's board.
Yeah, a good card right now for Ahmed to draw that would really seal up his turn pretty well is Brooklet Hill as well, allowing him to get access to just basically almost any Pokemon in his deck, possibly the Remoraid as well, and bump that Shrine of Punishments, but does not find it off that Cynthia for 6.
And there is the knockout. We are down to 4 prizes remaining for Ahmed, and with the exception of the potential Banette GX coming out here, he will have to earn those prizes the old-fashioned way, just trading 1 for 1. 1 knockout equals 1 prize.
Yeah, but here we have the Beast Energy coming down on the benched Buzzwole, meaning with Sledgehammer and Ahmed at 4 prizes, it is dealing 150 damage. So he is 10 damage away from getting the knockout, which that Banette GX provides.
Looks like he does have the Banette GX there. We see it. There's going to go ahead and Shady Move, I believe it's called. Yes.
Yeah, so now it will get knocked out in between turns thanks to Shrine of Punishments.
Yep, all right, so that big Lycanroc actually has been dealt with there thanks to the Beast Energy and with a little bit of help from Banette GX as well.
Yeah, and this is kind of where Ahmed likes to be now with Chris at 4 prizes as well. His Sledgehammer is turned on. It's just he needs to find a way to deal with that Banette GX on the bench. It's kind of just a little innocuous, just sitting there like, I'm going to wait and bide my time.
Yeah, exactly. Good amount of prizes remaining, 4 for each player, which turns on, like you said, the Sledgehammer. Hopefully Ahmed can put something together here. That was one of the problems is, you know, he invested a lot into the Lycanroc GX, even though it was dominating for quite a while there. It eventually, you know, it did its job. It traded, right? It took 2 prizes and then got knocked out. But he didn't have any other energy on the board, anything like that. So he does have to. He is in a complete rebuilding phase here.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, Buzzwole's pretty good deck at rebuilding stuff, thanks to Beast Ring and Max Elixir.
Yeah, absolutely. B-String can be a huge factor in all of these games. And it looks like we're going to see a Guzma.
Oh, this is a sweet play here, taking out one of the late game threats that Christopher has in Garbodor. And really now, like, just dealing with that Banette GX is his main goal.
Big knockout, 3 prizes remaining. Banette GX coming to the active position. Banette with a float stone on it is pretty nice to have when your opponent's taking knockouts all the time.
Oh, yeah, it's a free 10 damage every turn. Thanks to Shrine.
Exactly. Now, what is Christopher looking for here? What is he trying to do on this turn to maybe even up the prizes, maybe rebuild a Garbodor?
So his main attacker right now is that Banette GX. If it goes down, he's going to have a little bit of trouble. So that's why you see him getting that Trubbish down on the bench thanks to that Ultra Ball. Because Ahmed trying to come back after that big Lycanroc knockout, he played a couple of items. He's going to have to fill his discard a little bit. And so we see him try to just threaten that Trash Lance again.
And there is a Guzma. Looks like it's going to bring up that Remoraid, kind of try to take care of the potential draw power from Ahmed as both players are now tied. 3 prizes each.
Yeah, really just you want to save this Banette for that big Buzzwole GX. That's one of your big goals to take a knockout on. And why not use this Buzzwole with the Beast Energy, dealing a perfect 60 damage to take that knockout on that Remoraid, a great support Pokemon for Ahmed later in the game.
Exactly. We're going to see Professor Sycamore from Ahmed.
Yeah, 2 B-Strings in his hand, but again, he has not been finding his Brooklet Hills here, not really having access to just get his attacker for free.
Plays another Max Elixir, and looks like he actually does hit this time. A little bit of energy acceleration there. Really good in these.
Oh, make sure to shuffle those back in the deck.
There we go.
So we see him have an Ultra Ball in his hand, but he has the Lycanroc and a couple of B-Strings. Not really cards you want to discard off that Ultra Ball to try to find maybe Buzzwole GX or even just another way to get something going.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's really tough here, him not having the Brooklet Hill or just a way to search out more Pokemon. But B-String is turned on. Prizes are even. He will need to deal with the threat of Banette eventually, but it's not like he doesn't have anything going on here.
All right, B-String to the active. Remember, he does have that second one, but how many basic fighting energy does he have left in his deck?
And there's a Lycanroc. There's a Bloodthirst DIs. Ahmed focusing so much in this game on taking out the Garbodors and Trubbishes. Just knows that that's going to be a major threat, and he needs to take care of them while he can. Get some easy prizes.
Yeah, so he could just try and, ooh, that B-String gets nothing here. Really just playing it so he doesn't have to draw it later on. He has gone through a lot of his energies. If you remember that turn 1 Sycamore, discarding 3 of them, I believe.
Yeah, and he only has 8 total fighting energy in the deck. So I think there's 4 in play right now. We know there's a couple in the discard pile, so that could end up being a problem as the game goes on.
Yeah, and looking right now, Christopher's in a commanding position. This Banette is going to be hard to deal with here. Remember, just that 1-1, but it's putting in a lot of work.
Looks like the players are just...
They're trying to get the math right. Shrine of Punishments math, and then Banette math on top of that.
Yeah, everything is right, because I had 2 last turn, and then it used 1 for the shady move.
Yeah, so essentially, if he brings the Banette GX up every turn, it will never get, it'll get 1 extra damage counter instead of 2.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a Professor Sycamore coming down for Christopher. 7 new cards. It's like a rainbow on the Buzzwole as well.
Yeah, really just trying to set up swing around, because with that Beast Energy, it actually gets up there in damage. Possibly enough to take a knockout on a regular Buzzwole with a heads.
There's another Trubbish again. Christopher committing to the plan of, all right, I need to get Garbodor out. Even if you keep Guzming it, or Bloodthirst DIsing it and knocking it out, I need to try at least. So another one hits the field. Full bench for Christopher.
Well, yeah, the good thing here is since that B-String did not get any energy, He will have to commit an energy to that Buzzwole on the bench if he wants to try to attack next turn, since he already used Danger Stroke earlier on.
Yeah, energy problems. I know that Ahmed does have one Super Rod in his deck, but the energy problems could be a major factor here, as he has one basic fighting left, and I don't know the actual strong count.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think, 8 or 9 supporters in Christopher's discard. That Bennett is doing a ton of damage right now.
Yeah, major threat is the Bennett GX. So we're going to see the first wonder tag of the game, actually. It's
there's only one Tapu Lele between the two players.
Exactly. Not exactly what we're used to seeing. But I'm actually pretty interested in Christopher's deck. Not this exact version, but I know that a bunch of Australian players made it through day one, as well as we saw Tyler Namora on camera make it through, Ross Cawthon as well, with a similar version, just kind of some combination of Buzzwole, Garbodor, Shrine of Punishments, no GXs.
Yeah, exactly. And Christopher just kind of taking it a step further and really proving how Bennett GX is worth it in this deck. Just completely taking over this matchup right now.
Yeah, I have to imagine that if Christopher's playing this, I know there's probably a couple of other very top players who are on the deck as well. I know Christopher is good friends with Xander Pero, top 4 Worlds finisher last year. So I'm sure that this deck is going to be absolutely everywhere today.
All right, there's a strong energy on that benched Buzzwole as well. It is doing a ton of damage with String Around right now. Pretty much could knock out anything on Ahmed's side of the field.
And look at Christopher's board. Just he has the Bayonet. He has 2 Octillery.
It is the weirdest looking deck I have ever seen, but it works.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's proving it works here. He's 2-0, hoping to make a run. Hopefully make maybe top 8, maybe join us on Championship Sunday even.
Man, that would be sweet to have Bennett GX just come out of nowhere. Like, this is pretty good. I'm playing all these rainbows and shines anyway. Why not just give my opponent extra damage?
Absolutely. All right. So still lacking a Garbodor at this point in the game, but this end's going to be big.
And now he also does have to be careful, because if Ahmed can somehow find a way to take a knockout on this Bennett, that's essentially that's game.
Actually game. Yeah, definitely the Bennett is a risk factor here as well. And this is part of the reason why a lot of the other players who are playing similar decks have chosen not to play any GXs, because they want to have the straight one prize game plan.
All right, there we see the retreat and this giant Buzzwole coming out to the active spot with 3 different special energies on it. Takes the knockout.
And Ahmed is going to go ahead and scoop him up. Christopher Schemanske is up 1-0 in this series, hoping to be 3-0 here at the World Championships. Can he do it? Remains to be seen.
I don't know. As long as he has that Shuppet Bennett in his deck, it seems this matchup is very well positioned for him.
Yeah, it just seems really, really good to just be able to manipulate damage like that. You have a late game attacker as well. I think it might be a really powerful innovation from Christopher.
And granted, to be fair, we did not see Diancie Prism from Ahmed at all that game. Maybe just missing that 20 extra damage whenever he attacked.
Yeah, there was Ahmed didn't drive great that game. After the initial Lycanroc, he attacked with a Buzzwole a few times, but he just didn't really get things going like he really wanted to. Like you said, no Diancie. He never even had a Remoraid. I don't think he did have a
like the very last turn, or
he did have a Remoraid because Christopher knocked it out. Yeah. But never had Noctillery up. Just hoping for a little bit better draws. But what else do you think he has to hope for here outside of better draws? Is there any way you can kind of play this game differently, navigate the matchup differently to hopefully tie things up?
Well, so a little faster start, a little more aggressive start from him would be pretty good. And actually eyeing down that Shuppet to take out, you saw how it just swept up the board against Ahmed, and he's really going to target that down first. That's public enemy number 1.
both players taking mulligans, so going to shuffle a little bit more before they actually set up. Hopefully we can have a good game on both sides, maybe a little bit better draws. But I really, that game just showcased the power of Christopher's deck, especially showcased the power of the Bana innovation too.
Yeah, we saw it working there full force. Just kind of a combo of Floatstone, Shrine of Punishments is just, I'm going to hit my numbers every single turn. I'm not going to miss my knockout by 10 damage.
All right, 7 cards for both players. Let's see if we can find some basic Pokemon. Looks like Christopher wants to start with that Sudowoodo. Well, no, what wants to? That Sudowoodo wants to be the active Pokemon.
He wants to shine. He's usually in the back, just like standing like a tree.
Yeah, just being a...
Now he's going to be in the front, standing
Pokemon.
like a tree.
Yeah, exactly. All right, handshake, and we are off. Rockruff versus Sudowoodo. Taking a look at the prizes.
Few supporters prize for Christopher there. 2 Sycamore and an N. Meanwhile, Ahmed has 3 energy in the prizes, one of them being that beast energy. And if you remember, he had a rough go about it in the early turns, discarding energy. Copycat supporter we see here. New reprint from Celestial Storm. Card that I thought of would have been played in more decks, but Ahmed, really the first time I think we've seen it.
Yeah, at least I haven't seen it yet at this tournament. So yeah, Copycat's been around for, well, it's new to the standard format. The card itself has been around for a very long time. Numerous reprints. I also expected to see more of it, just based on I think a lot of the Zoroark decks are getting a lot of hype, and sometimes they can end with big hands. But
honestly, there's nothing better than your opponent going Tempest GX with a Rayquaza, and then you just Copycat for 10 next turn.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you kind of feel bad because you didn't end them.
Yeah. Copycat, one of those cards that is also just kind of high risk, high reward. Like Cynthia will always get you 6. Sycamore will always get you 7, and Copycat might get you 10 sometimes, but it also can get you 0.
Copycat is the mystery box of the supporters.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ahmed just on 1 copy, just kind of saying, all right, this could be big, but I don't want to commit myself too much to it, which I think will probably be its place in the format. Maybe we move to 2 after rotation. I'm not sure, but just because of the inherent risk with it, you can't go too aggressive with it.
Yeah. So Christopher's hand here looking pretty sweet. Actually has the Floatstone this time, and then an Ultra Ball for that Buzzwole. He will be able to get an attack off, and if he draws into Diancie Prism, he can actually take a knockout on that Rockruff.
All right, let's see it. Cynthia, 6 cards. Do we have a Diancie Prism or a way to find it?
No, but he does have a Trubbish and at least a supporter for next turn.
Yep, so there's the retreat. Gonna spread some damage around, and back to Ahmed's turn.
Yeah, and you might think, he missed the knockout by 20. Ahmed's just going to retreat that, never really get knocked out. But with Banette GX, it's a liability on the bench to just have 20 HP left.
Oh, definitely. That's, again, one of the powers of that Banette, just manipulating the damage, moving damage counters around at will.
And wow, we see kind of an awkward hand here from Ahmed. Double Ultra Ball and then some cards he doesn't really want to discard. With no supporters in hand, could eye that Tapu Lele, but he's also bringing forward that Diancie. I don't know if Tapu Lele is even in the deck.
I thought I saw the Tapu Lele when he was going through before, but I guess maybe not. Diancie Prism Star might be the choice here.
Yeah, Tapu Lele is in the prizes. So this is a rough game for Ahmed here. His hand is essentially nothing. He could take the Tapu Lele off the prizes right here, but no, the Beast Energy. Yep. Man, he's going to have to rely on the top of his deck.
Same play pattern we saw last game with, I'm targeting down these Trebuchets. I don't want you to have a Garbodor. Unfortunately, Ahmed, like you said, is at the mercy of the top of his deck. So this next turn or two is going to be very, very crucial for him.
Yeah, really hoping Christopher would have played an end there. Like, man, his hand was pretty good. I'm going to end you. But no, all Christopher had, that Cynthia. One of the best supporters in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Cynthia, ever since it was printed, has just been heavily played. I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
Pretty good draws here off that Cynthia for Christopher, having Remoraid and Diancie Prism, two important setup Pokemon. But other than that, nothing really for next turn. So both players are kind of just playing with what they have on the field.
Yeah, so it looks like the luck is evening out a little bit here. Buzzwole with a Beast Energy gets played. Looks like Christopher just doing a little bit of math.
Yeah, right now it is definitely favoring Christopher here, just because two attackers with an energy apiece.
All right, top deck was Brooklet Hill, the card he was looking for in all of Game 1. That Shrine of Punishments, it's gone, and importantly, Brooklet Hill allows Ahmed to find that Remoraid. They know he has an Octillery in hand, so as long as that Remoraid is not disrupted on Christopher's next turn, the draws are going to start smoothing out.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important turn for Christopher to see if he can draw into that Guzma to take out the Remoraid, because if not, Ahmed's just going to start getting going his next turn.
But as we talked about on Christopher's turn, his hand is also not great. He just drew and put his hand face down. Not sure exactly what he's working with, but there goes the stadium. Shrine of Punishment is back online, and he actually does have the Guzma.
He drew the Guzma off the top of the deck, gets the Remoraid, and Ahmed's back at square one here with his hand just not doing anything.
Yeah, we're actually fully back in it now. Basically the same exact position. Top of the deck is a Fighting Energy.
That is not what you want to see here.
He's considering attaching it.
You kind of have to at this point. You could take the knockout, or no, you can't even take the knockout. He's at 5.
It's gonna go ahead.
Oh man!
Promote more Shrine of Punishment damage coming down, and an N off the top for Christopher.
Christopher's top of the deck has been a lot better than Ahmed's top of the deck here.
Yeah, he's choosing not to play the end. He knows exactly what's going on. He's just taking knockouts.
Guzma, not what he wants to see, especially since he...
You can see it in the body language, too. Frustrating series of turns, frustrating game and match for Ahmed.
Because he can take a knockout here with Dangerous Rogue, but that puts him to 4 prizes, and this Lycanroc's going to get knocked out next turn.
I mean, he just has to do it, right? Taking a prize.
Another energy.
Oh, we didn't take the Tapu Lele?
No, the Tapu Lele, I think, would be his last prize. It's like top left.
All right.
He does not want to come out to play. He was scared of Shrine of Punishments. So he's like, I don't want to come out again.
All right, here's the Professor's Sycamore for Christopher's side as he continues to take complete control of this game.
Man, it's just card after card here for Christopher.
Quick retreat. And Ahmed sees the writing on the wall. That's a knockout. What does the top deck bring? A Max Elixir. He does have that Guzma.
I'm deciding what to bring up with the Guzma.
And he just has to do attach and pass. Is this going to be the game? He just shows him the Floatstone. Christopher Schemanske advances to 3-0 here at the 2018 World Championship. Dominating victory.
Yeah, very unfortunate draws here off that N for Ahmed. Just, man.